on this episode.
Mr. Rob Common.
Captain Rob.
It is 15:24, right? And the last one closes at 5 o'clock. It means we're spending the night in the canal, not in the luxury of our totally fabulous Killarney.
They race to find somewhere to overnight.
My name is Jeremy Norman. I'm the principal owner of Soho Gyms. And before that, I started the world-famous Heaven nightclub.
I'm Derek Frost, and professionally I used to be an interior designer.
I met Derek when he was 25 and I was 29. We've been together ever since. I heard on the radio someone saying that spring travels up through Britain at the pace of a walking man. And I thought that was an intensely romantic notion.
Every summer, Derek and Jeremy charter Killarney, an 80-foot, twin-screw diesel motor yacht. Usually, they cruise the Mediterranean. This journey will be different. They'll start at the tip of England, the Isles of Scilly. From there, they'll go up the Bristol Channel to South Wales. And from South Wales, up the coast of Wales, across the Irish Sea to Northern Ireland. Then, up the coast of Northern Ireland, right to the very top, to Rathlin Island, and then across to the Mull of Kintyre in Scotland. They'll then proceed up the Inner Hebrides to Ullapool, taking in all the famous islands, and then from Ullapool across the treacherous Minch to the Outer Hebrides, and from there on to St Kilda, hopefully, if they make it. Previously.
It's got a reverse out of that bloody tiny little hole.
I mean, that's nearly given way. I mean, my God, it could easily have given way.
They came perilously close to losing the new rib.
Well, we're here in Rothsay on the island of Bute. There's a lot of Victoriana around.
It was a holiday zone for folk.
Have famous people had a pee here?
Prince Charles. I can actually show you. There is plaque.
Prince Charles came and had a pee.
Prince Charles.
Oh, I feel like a prince.
They start the day by heading north up Loch Fyne, travelling from the Isle of Bute to Ardreshig. After earlier problems tethering the rib, things now seem to be under control. It's a bright but cold sunny day with amazing visibility. Jeremy and Captain Tim take the rib and head for the Crinan Canal to see if Killarney can make it through the 15 locks.
I think that what they're talking about, I would imagine, is that this is the width of the locks, not the width of the whole canal.
Yeah, well that's why we have to go up and have a look.
Right. Let's go around the other side.
Well, we're going to we're physically just going to go and have a look at this canal and see how wide it is, see how feasible it is to take the boat through. She is right on the limit. And obviously have a look and let me speak to the man in command.
But this looks like a dead-end base.
That's the next little one you go through.
Oh, I get it. Oh my God.
It's the next little one you go through.
Filling stations of our shop, so we can get petrol there as well, right at the mouth.
The Clyde Puffers were little tramp steamers designed to transport goods along the narrow canal between the Western Highlands and the Scottish mainland. Here's a somewhat rusty example, a name now faded, Vital Spark.
And when the canal does widen out, it looks like a bit. Well, that's why I think we need to speak to the lock keeper. That's the thing. But how much damage can you do if you hit the side?
Well, the stabilisers I've been more worried about.
Yeah.
Taking the stabilisers off.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for example, I'll come through here,
Yeah.
but I won't be able to turn. I might be able to turn the boat, but I won't. If I go off course this way, I'm going to end up on this bank. 100%.
Yeah.
I'll be on this bank. Now, it depends how hard this bank is. Should we go and speak to that lockmaster in that hut?
do that.
I mean, I'd love to do it.
No,
I just need to know what.
Hopefully, the lockkeeper will have the answers they need.
26.8 meters beam, 608 draft 2.89, mast height 28. Please add low. That's exactly what I said.
Well, we're within the limits.
Oh, we're within the limits. Through the canal, so when you're through the locks, the actual banks of the canal, how deep is it and how close to them is it? I mean, yeah, I mean...
No, if you put in those dimensions,
Yeah.
you should be okay then. The reach goes down a wee bit, this one a wee bit, they should have it up really.
Righty-ho.
I mean, 20 feet max is our absolute maximum.
That is stone to stone.
Yep.
Right, without benders.
Well, that's channel dimensions.
Right, so it's actually wall to wall. Well, that's a problem.
Smallest.
I think we'll err on the side of caution this time, Jeremy.
It's really sad.
Oh, tell
I really
me
think
about
there's
it.
no way we can squeeze them through.
No, I don't think so. I mean, max, the beam they're saying max for dimensions is 6 meters, 6.1.
Yeah.
We're 5.7. That leaves us with about 380 millimeter. We won't even be able to get fenders in. And barring that, they're saying that further up the lock, that some of the lock gates don't even open fully. They don't go into their recesses, therefore reducing the beam even more. And bearing on top of that, we have a 4-fin stabiliser system on board Killarney, which is forward and aft, which brings her beam
All the way down.
all the way down the length of the vessel. I think that if we want to enjoy our trip and get to where we've got to go, unfortunately I'm going to have to go round.
It's a long passage for you.
Well, it is what it is.
Having sensibly rejected passage of Killarney through the canal, Derek and Jeremy set off in the Rib to explore Loch Fyne. Forest and field are interspersed with the occasional grand house, Scottish baronial style. They are headed to the lakeside town of Inverary, where they have arranged to meet their friend, Rob Common. Rob has accepted their invitation to join the adventure, not only as their friend, but as the captain of the Rib.
There he is, there on the end.
Yeah.
Mr. Rob Common.
You know the beach here around the corner?
Yep.
Can't we just come to this
Come
ladder?
alongside here.
I think we'll just come to the ladder.
We're just going to put our nose in and not come alongside.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so ready?
Come aboard. Captain Rob. This is your new command.
Welcome, Rob.
They waste no time getting underway.
Well, we're at Ardking Glass House, which was built by a very rich Scottish armaments manufacturer. It was built by a very prominent Scottish architect of the day, whose name I can't remember, and it's still furnished and looks like a period Edwardian baronial house. It's also set in magnificent gardens, which are particularly famous for their azaleas and rhododendrons. So they should be out this time of year.
And we can wander around the
We can wander around the garden, but the other problem we've got is I can't see any jetty.
Well, it's fairly low
Do me a
tide.
favour, just get...
Unfortunately, the low tide prevents them going ashore, but they admire the grand house from the Rib. They head back,
Yeah, I mean, we left Ireland on the 9th of April.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and
Where are
run
you going to go?
around here, through the Kintyre Sound, all the way through, down the south end, running north, up to meet you and anchor off the canal entrance here.
Right. After you, captain first.
Right, okay. Cheers, Tim.
Just under in the aft line.
Kalani and her crew will have to make the 160-kilometre passage back around the Mull of Kintyre, while Derek, Jeremy and Rob take the rib through the Crinan Canal.
Have we made a rough idea about where we're meeting at the other end?
Yeah. See ya.
Great trip, guys.
We'll see you around the other side.
See you on the other side.
See the lighthouse?
Yeah.
Just go to the starboard lighthouse, past the white boat.
Thanks guys, have a good trip.
The Crinan Canal rises 65 feet over its 9-mile length. It opened in 1801 and has a total of 15 locks.
Lock Gate 1, Crinan Canal. So of 17, I think.
We haven't got any more, have we?
You can tie it off if you want, you wouldn't get down to one line.
Okay, so this line doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, just put it around the seat and tie it off.
This is a training lock. By the time we've done 2 or 3, we'll know everything and we'll be like a fabulous team at it. But like, well, this is like lock school.
Got a map of the canal. I know where the filling station is. There's a post office over here.
When was the canal made?
Opened in 1801. They're all made by hand, the canal was dug by hand. It was a big job, but you know,
Thanks, gents.
We've just come through lock number 2 on the Crinan Canal with the help of that nice young man who showed us how to do it. Perfect canopy.
It's a lovely, lovely tree.
And look, it's a split tree too.
It's a lover's tree.
Very lovely.
With the second lock cleared and feeling like old hands, they relax into their journey.
See you later.
Thanks so much.
Someone must have been winding that old thing for, you know, well, ever since it was built. Sort of timeless activity. Slow, gentle. Nice pace.
Even with the generators burning 24/7 and doing about 20 miles a day, we shouldn't need to fuel up for about 5 weeks.
Are you going to paint it white again?
I think creamish. Slightly darker on the hull.
Slightly creamy.
Very pale cream.
Jeremy, We open this first, don't we? It is 15:24, right? And the last one closes at 5 o'clock, and this guy says it takes 2 hours to go up, 1 hour up and 1 hour down, which means we're spending the night in the canal, not in the luxury of our totally fabulous Killarney. But the only thing we're going to do is get very good at doing the locks, and then with a bit of luck we might get our supper.
Thank you.
We got 13 of these goddamn things. I mean, it's like a nightmare.
We've got one more here, and then we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 all in a row.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
No, we'll do it. Like, this is, you know, raise the jolly old ensign.
Me and my boyfriend.
Me and my boyfriend got a bit of a problem because we got to be on our boat, see?
We're from London.
Yeah, exactly. We're from London, you know. Exactly. We're from Bewley.
It's a nice Halberg grassy there to the right.
Hi guys.
Good afternoon. They are Royal Naval training vessels.
Are they?
The narrow channel gives a tremendous feeling of speed.
We've got to fill this one up, haven't we? So we do these.
There's that British waterway. Do we want to tell them?
Prepared to take a tip to stay open a little later. I mean, that guy, see there from the thing, he said there's some road bridges that, because it's a river, we'll be able to get underneath.
Okay.
And then there are 2 sea locks which are automated. So a bit of luck, we may get to our bed tonight.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I hope so.
Good
I mean, it
effort.
would be such a bloody pain, wouldn't it?
A long walk.
Okay.
A bit of time and then
Yes,
I'll come back
yes,
here.
of course, thank you. Well, we can come and give you a hand. So how many boats go through a year, would you say?
Well, on average, each day in the summertime, there's average about 60 boats
60.
going back and forward
Right.
through these locks, yes.
But I mean, some of the actual turning pins, the actual sort of hinge thing, that looks wood, that's still.
Yes, that's still wood.
And I mean, that was built 1801,
1801,
so it's lasted 200 years.
just over 200 years now.
Bloody good, isn't it?
It's good.
Very good. I mean, the weight of water on them must be enormous, isn't it?
A tremendous weight of water.
Yeah.
Even just that amount of water, you will never ever budge these gates when you're leaning against them. It's got to be dead level.
Yeah. What can we do? That whole gate lifts up.
Just extraordinary. And a light on the sort of reeds, the marshes, and then the different greens of the hills in the distance, and the mountain absolutely framed perfectly between 2 peaks of green. Oh, look at that. If you would tell that was a view in Britain, from the edge of Lake Victoria. We think you were in the boundless plains of Africa. I think it's one of the most ravishing pieces of scenery with the best light that I think I've almost ever seen. Just extraordinary. The only thing so far I feel really frustrated about is that we haven't had a decent catch of mackerel. Because that'll mean spring has arrived to me.
Well, mackerel running in Norway, they're running in Scotland.
Okay, right, so if they're here, why aren't we catching them?
Well,
we haven't had enough time.
We only fished for 10 minutes.
That's true. This is the last lock on the Crinan Canal, and we're at the Crinan end. And from now onwards, we're really sort of in the Highlands. We're sort of leaving lowland Scotland behind and entering the domain of hills and heather and red deer and wild seas. Across from us here at Crinan is the castle of Duntroon, which is apparently the oldest continuously inhabited castle in Scotland. I mean, what a setting. It's set in a sort of glade of trees with sort of wonderful rounded, beautiful hills that look from this distance as almost as though they're covered in a soft moss. The lock in front of it and the hills behind. And in this light, it looks spectacular.
Against the odds, they make it through the canal before it closes for the night. They head off to rendezvous with Killarney. As they pass Duntroon Castle, they take a few moments to marvel at the 12th century dwelling. They make it back just before dusk.
Jimmy, you're so excited to see us.
Yeah.
You were very excited to see you.
Was it horrible?
It was ghastly. Did you have a nice day?
Yeah. Nah, you're lying. You had a good time, didn't you?
Later, they gather to discuss tomorrow's adventures, particularly the whirlpool at Jura.
But what I don't quite understand when it says whirlpool, is it actually like a whirlpool?
Yes, it is
round,
round,
and it sucks you down.
Sucks base into it.
Yeah.
So why did you say it would be okay on a roof? That's what I don't understand.
You just keep away from it because you've got a lot of power.
So you can just skit around.
You can zoom away from it and everything.
Right,
Yeah,
but
right
if
from
you
the
got
edge
too
of
near
the
to it, what, you get sucked down?
I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't be
You'd
anywhere
spin the
near.
whole boat round. You just with no control and she.
Would it do that?
Yeah, your engine will start cavitating as well.
And there's air, so you'll lose your buoyancy.
And you're sucked down. It would kill you if you got stuck in it.
Wow. I mean, that's really quite something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but what's really cool, there are people who are experienced, you know, are very, what's the word, very measured, cautious, you know, because they actually know the realities of these situations. The sort of slightly kind of foolhardy kind of amateur types like Jeremy and I, you know, want to put our heads over the edge to see if it's as bad as, see if it's as bad as everyone says it is, you know. Don't. Okay, well, we got the point. So we're not going to put our nose into it.
No.
Whirlpools are fucked.
Righty ho.
Let's go back to London.
Next time,
The whirlpool is so powerful that it sets up a kind of a low rumble.
What a pretty boat.
Derek and Jeremy meet an interesting young artist.
But when you use the word politics when you describe this, you said...
Well, yeah, I mean, this picture was about like 92, and there was a lot of blackfish being landed in the North Sea.
Right.
Blackfish means fish landed at night illegally. Can you hear that noise?
Yeah, that's a standing wave that forms.
And they braved the famous whirlpool of Jura.
The killer langoustine.
That's what I call seafood.